What is the real difference between a strong club player and a grandmaster? I'll tell you, it's not just about memorizing openings. Today, we're going to dive deep into the minds of the world's best to really deconstruct their complete system. We're talking training, psychology, and discipline, the whole shebang that builds a champion's mindset. All right, let's get into it.
So, what is it? What really separates a grandmaster from a really ambitious club player? Is it just that they've burned thousands of opening lines into their memory, or that their brain just works like some kind of supercomputer? Well, from everything we've seen, the answer is way, way deeper than that. It's not just about what they do over the board, but it's how they build their entire world around the game. You see, the secret really lies in a holistic system, a framework for training, thinking, and just living that's basically engineered for peak performance. And in this explainer, we're going to break that system down into its three core pillars.
So, first up, we'll look at how they train. And honestly, it's often surprisingly counterintuitive. Then we're going to explore the psychology of a champion, how they handle that intense mental pressure. And finally, we'll see how being organized off the board gives them a massive edge. Think of this as the Grandmaster's roadmap. Okay, let's start with pillar number one, deliberate training. The big idea here is that elite preparation isn't about grinding yourself into the ground with more and more hours. Nope. It's about a very specific, very intelligent method that's designed to have you peak at exactly the right moment. Most players, and maybe you've thought this too, believe that as a big tournament gets closer, you gotta ramp everything up, solve the hardest puzzles you can find, cram new openings. But according to Grandmaster Noël this is completely backward. You see, the Grandmaster approach views chess kind of like an endurance sport. I mean, you wouldn't run a full marathon the day before the actual race, right? Of course not. So instead, what professionals do is use a tapering system. They do all their heavy lifting in the off-season, when there are no tournaments on the horizon. That's the time for building up their opening repertoire, soaking in new ideas, and even working on physical endurance. But as a competition gets closer, the whole process shifts from building to sharpening. And this just lays it all out perfectly. About 3 weeks before a tournament, they actually start to reduce their training load. The puzzles they solve, they get easier. And why would they do that? Well, because the goal is no longer about learning a new skill, it's all about building confidence. You want to be solving things with a 90 to 100% success rate to get your mind into that winning groove. They repeat openings they already know, just to solidify the foundation. And then in the last few days, they might stop studying chess completely. Just let their mind rest and fully recharge. Last-minute cramming, all that does is create stress and mental fog. And this deep, systematic approach, it starts early. Grandmaster Vladimir Okopian remembers how the legendary world champion Mikhail Botvinnik used to spot true talent. It wasn't about flashy tactical shots. No, Botvinnik believed that a young player's ability to handle a complex endgame, that was the real sign of a deep chess understanding. And that's a skill you can only build through years of smart, deliberate training, not through some last-minute push.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar, and you'll see how this all connects, forging your mindset. Because let's be honest, once you're at the board, the most important battles are usually fought right between your ears. Your physical prep gets you to the tournament, but it's your psychology that's going to win it.
Vladimir Okopian uses this incredible shark psychology analogy. The greatest players, they can literally smell fear across the board. If you sit down across from a legend and you're already intimidated by their title or their rating, you've lost before you've even pushed a pawn. They feed on that hesitation. So the point is, a champion's mindset has to be fearless. They respect their opponents, for sure, but they are never, ever afraid of them. And a huge part of being fearless comes from this idea detaching your self-worth from your rating. So many players suffer from what you could call evaluation anxiety. You know the feeling. Every win feels like you're a genius, and every loss feels like a personal failing. Elite players, they learn to see their rating for what it is, just a number. It's a temporary measurement of how you're playing right now, not a permanent label of who you are as a person. And that simple shift, it frees you up to play creative, courageous chess without your ego hanging on every single move. This mental freedom is exactly what allows them to embrace one of the hardest but most important parts of getting better, learning from your losses. For a professional, a loss isn't a failure. It's just data. What they do is engage in what we can call productive analysis. This is not about beating yourself up over a blunder for hours on end. It's a calm, disciplined, systematic process. The goal here is to drain all the emotion out of the defeat and turn it into a concrete lesson that makes you stronger for the very next game. And here's how they actually do it. First, they just replay the game, trying to spot the key moments where things went south. But here's the crucial part. They try to figure out their mistakes on their own before ever turning on a chess engine. This forces them to really use their own brain. It's only after they've got their own theories that they use the engine to check their work. And finally, and this is the step most of us skip, they reflect on their mindset. What were they thinking? Were they feeling rushed? Maybe a little too confident? A bit anxious? This is what reveals the psychological patterns that lead to the same mistakes over and over again. So to build this kind of tough mindset before a competition even starts, Noël Studer recommends asking yourself 3 simple but really profound questions. Number 1, why am I even playing in this tournament? Number 2, what's my goal? And number 3, what would make this tournament a success even if I play badly? That third question is so powerful because it gives you a reason to value the experience no matter what the result is, which just takes a huge amount of pressure off your shoulders. Okay, this brings us to our final pillar, the organized player. This is all about everything that happens away from the board. It might seem like small stuff, but professionals get it. Mental energy is a finite resource, and they protect it like crazy by controlling every single little thing they can. So here's the bottom line. By managing all the little details of travel, food, and sleep ahead of time, a player frees up a massive amount of brain space. So while their opponent is stressing out about a lumpy hotel pillow or trying to find a decent place to eat, the organized player's mind is clear, it's calm, and it's focused on one thing and one thing only, the 64 squares. It's about getting rid of decision fatigue before the clock even starts. And check this out. This shows you the incredible level of detail we're talking about. This isn't just some made-up list. It's based on Noël Studer's actual travel kit. He travels with his own pillow and his own yoga mat to make sure his sleep and his physical routine are absolutely perfect. He brings specific teas, his favorite snacks, so he never has to rely on whatever weird food is at the tournament hall. Now, this isn't about being fussy. It's about eliminating uncertainty and creating this little bubble of consistency and comfort no matter where in the world he's playing. And when we talk about all these off-the-board preparations, there is one golden rule that stands above everything else, especially when it comes to what you eat and drink. You never, ever, ever try a new food, a new drink, a new energy bar, or a new supplement during a competition. Your body and your brain are finely tuned instruments. A tournament is the performance, it's not the rehearsal. You stick with what you've already tested at home and what you know works for you, period. And this whole philosophy, it extends to everything. That's why Studer brings his own pillow, to guarantee consistency and just eliminate the risk of one bad night's sleep derailing a whole week of prep. Every tiny detail, from a morning walk to 5 minutes of meditation, is just another controllable thing that's locked into place, saving that precious mental energy for the game itself. So, as we wrap this all up, it becomes pretty clear that reaching the top levels of chess isn't about some magic bullet or just having some kind of innate gift. It's about consciously and deliberately building an integrated system for performance. And that system is built on these 3 pillars. You've got deliberate, tapering training that puts confidence ahead of exhaustion. You have a forged, fearless mindset that sees a loss as valuable data, not a personal failure. And you've got total, meticulous organization that controls every possible variable to free your mind for the battle. Each pillar supports the others, creating this powerful, resilient foundation for success. So what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? Well, the path to chess mastery isn't some gift that's reserved for a chosen few. It's a system that absolutely anyone can build. It's about training smarter, thinking fearlessly, and preparing meticulously. The real secret to thinking like a grandmaster, it isn't found in some book of openings. It's found in the disciplined construction of your own engine for success, both on and off the board.